We'll have you introduce yourself and we'll keep it nice and smooth.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to Women Over 40 Losing Weight. I'm your host, Dr. Kisha Pickford, nurse practitioner and a holistic nutrition weight loss coach. And I'm also founder of Ample Health and Wellness. And today's this podcast, we're here to have a real honest conversation about what it really takes to lose weight and to feel better and also to stay healthy, which is the most important part after 40, without any extremes, without the guilt, without the confusion. And today I'm joined by my co host, Coach Jay, as we will dive into today's conversation together.
That was absolutely perfect, Keisha. You nailed it. So let's just blow right from there. We got our intro locked in, and now we can dive into the topic. Let's have some fun with it.
All right, sounds great. What are we discussing today?
Absolutely. So today we're going to dive into what it really means to be a holistic weight loss coach. We'll unpack how that's different from just traditional coaching, how your nurse practitioner background fits in, and really give people a clear picture of what you do. Let's get into it.
Okay. I think that's a good topic. I get a lot of questions sometimes, especially when I delve out that I'm a holistic nutrition weight loss coach. Everybody is like, what in the world is that? I hadn't heard that one before. So that'd be good for everybody to learn what this role is and how I can help or what I do as a coach in this lane.
Absolutely. And I think that's going to be so valuable for your audience. So let's just break it down step by step, and we'll give people a real sense of what holistic weight loss coaching is all about. It's going to be a great conversation.
Okay. I guess, maybe I should start with how I decided to do or get a certification as a coach. I can tell a little bit of background. I was on a quest myself for weight loss, and I wanted to do it a little bit differently this time. So I thought, why don't I go get, I study for everything else. Why don't I study how to lose weight or get a certification as in weight loss? And so I came across a website that was very, interesting to me and sound like it they made it sound fun, and I like to have fun while learning, and it was for women. It was based, it was based off helping women, and so, in the title, the final certification was Holistic Nutrition Weight Loss Coach. So, I studied, got my certification. Now that's my title, and that's my new role, and it's fun doing it and something I think I wanna end my healthcare career doing.
That's a fantastic backbone, and it really shows how personal and meaningful this journey is for you. And I think that's exactly what people need to hear. This isn't just a generic certification. It's something you chose because it fits who you are and how you want to help. So let's dive even deeper into that. Let's talk about what makes the holistic approach different and why you think it's so important.
Yeah, what makes it different? That's a good question. It's different because it takes you back to the natural way of doing things. It's not, chemical based. It's not, diving into how to lose the fastest amount of weight in the fastest amount of time. It's really looking at the whole self, the whole person, taking that into account and not just focused on the pounds. So it could, being this type of coach for weight loss is, considering the whole person. You've always heard, or I've heard, mind, body, and soul coaching. So we address, not only just the physical, we look at, your emotional well-being as well. And, and who you actually are, and to make what you need for weight loss fit you. Because at this age, this stage of life, being women over 40, we got a lot going on. And we got a lot of roles, a lot of, as I always say, a lot of hats. Which hat am I going to put on for this hour or for this day? And we learn to adjust in a lot of different situations, and sometimes we don't adjust enough to take care of us. So being that holistic weight loss coach, we focus on the weight loss as well, but we also consider your whole life, your whole being, your whole you, your whole person.
Exactly, and that's such a powerful way to frame it. It's not just about shedding pounds quickly, it's about making sure that everything in your life is in harmony and that you're really addressing the whole picture. So I love that. And I think people are gonna really appreciate understanding that angle and seeing how you bring all those pieces together. So let's get rolling with that. This is great.
Yes, yes, this is. And I'm not gonna go lightly on the weight loss part because in or doing my study, we went through the different, foods, how to combine to, get the maximum weight loss. Um, Learned about how to calculate, macros, and how to incorporate supplements um, if needed. So that part of the program was really well. But we also learned about nutrition. As a nurse, I took nutrition classes, but my classes were back in the '90s. So I'm dating myself for real now. And I had that one class, nutrition, and I made an A, but I can't tell you everything I learned or remembered. And so, it going back through the nutrition part, which was really um, in depth with this particular program. And I really appreciated and forgot some things and be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And, because as a nurse, if people don't know, you go through all per, per um, the healthcare, places that you can work in, I guess I can say that. And so we may do a rotation or clinicals is what we call them in certain different areas. And then, but when you graduate, you kind of settle on one or you focus on one area. And you may not, you probably won't ever see a certain area ever again. And so in my career, I sell on emergency critical care. And so we deal with nutrition, but as far as an emergency standpoint, I don't really do a lot of nutrition parts. So my nutrition piece is it went out the window a lot of times because I'm trying to actually restore, you back to breathing or your heart back beating. And, nutrition sometimes is the last on the list, for me. But when you go leave me and go to other places in the hospital, of course, nutrition and calories become very important. But sometimes in that emergent situation, food and drink is probably the last. So I really appreciated the nutrition component of this program because it woke some things back up and made me remember a lot. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what we need to do. And probably why I lost my way along this weight loss journey because I forgot about my nutrition. But becoming a holistic nutrition weight loss coach and going back through the program, going through this program, it really helped me.
Absolutely, and that makes so much sense. It's like you got to reconnect with a piece of the puzzle that you don't always use in an emergency setting, and now you're bringing it back full circle. And it's really gonna help so many people because they're getting that complete picture from you. So that's a fantastic insight, and I think it really highlights how your approach is both practical and personal. This is great stuff.
Yes, yes, it is. Um, I would, nutrition is, the big component, but the holistic part, that's where I really enjoyed the program or becoming this particular type of coach because it focused a lot on self-care, mindfulness, journaling, meditation, prayer. And at this point in my life, and other people that I have come into contact with at the same age group as me, we're looking for peace and tranquility. It's no more chaos. It's no more drama. We don't really want that in our lives. And so to learn that portion during the program and how to get people to start practicing that along with weight loss and seeing how that if we don't even have that portion of our lives in place or with some routine that it does play a impact on how we maintain gain or lose weight. And so that was another portion of becoming a holistic weight loss coach that attracted me because I just never really dealt with honing in or learning the calm side that I need to start having. And many women that I come into contact with 40s, 50s, and 60s, they have not either. Because, like I say, once again, we have so much going on and so many roles and responsibilities that we just do not look into that portion or that piece of self care and paying attention to the whole being.
Absolutely, and that's such an important piece. You're really bringing in that mindfulness and that whole self-care element that a lot of folks just don't get in a typical weight loss journey. And like you said, it's not just about what's on the plate or the nutrition, it's about the whole lifestyle and finding that common piece. So it's awesome. I think people are really going to appreciate this perspective. It's a whole new way to look at it.
It is. It is. All right. Any other thought provoking question you got for me?
Absolutely. Let's keep it going. So here's one for you. When you think about the woman you're working with, what's one of the biggest mindset shifts, one of the biggest aha moments they tend to have when they start looking at weight loss this holistic way? So, kind of, what's that light bulb moment that you see a lot of your clients go through?
With some of the clients that I've had in the past, I think the biggest aha was we're such, I guess, even though we don't sometimes display it in how we may lose weight, we're such type A, just a little type A personality. And so we're routine and systematic at work. But when we come home or when we deal with our home life or what we got going on outside of work, we don't have that routine or that system in place. And so showing them that, in past clients that we need some kind of routine or system, something that you can put into place for just a few weeks or a few months and get it together and then let that become a routine, and you'll be surprised or amazed at how that can play off into your weight loss and your weight management. And something as simple as having a meal prep day, which I introduced to a lot of people, and surprisingly, not many people have a meal prep day. And so just taking that one day a week, which I found a lot of ladies, it was just revelation. It was just a revelation. It was like, oh my gosh, if I had just been doing this the whole time, setting for the first of the week, whether it be, a Saturday or Sunday, get all my meals together, even for my kids, even for my husband, to set us a routine. I am now, I have a focused way for eating. I have a plan for eating. I have even decreased my budget because I'm doing this. So it has helped in other spaces as well. And I think that was the biggest, some of the biggest revelations that I saw, or some of the biggest changes, is that people begin to set a system for their home life. And we really sometimes just don't really have one. We go to work and we follow all these rules, we do all these routines, and we keep the company flowing, the company going. Or if we're running our own business, we're doing the same thing. But for ourself or for our personal, we just really don't put a system in place that keeps us balanced, that keeps us whole, that keeps us normalized.
Absolutely. And that's such a powerful insight. I mean, it's amazing how something as simple as setting that one routine, like a meal prep day, can be that light bulb moment where everything just clicks into place. And it's like you said, they realize it's not just about food, it's about having a little bit of structure in the personal life that makes everything else easier. So that's a great example. And I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people who are listening. This is fantastic.
Yes, I think this will answer a lot of questions for people, because you see holistic and you think about Buddha and yoga and sitting with your legs crossed and candles burning and music, meditation music playing in the backgrounds, which we talk about some of those things now. Don't get me wrong, that can help. But sometimes people see that or have that in their head, and they're kind of thrown off and be like, nah, I don't want to do that. But it's not really all about, being holistic. It's not really being all about that. We talk about other things, your environment, your home, your work life. We consider all of that. And I don't think a lot of coaches do. I know when I had a personal coach, a personal training coach, um, I don't think we talked about it. I know we didn't, may have made a little small talk about my child or, my home life, but didn't really dive deep and ask me those questions. You come into personal training 3, 4 times a week. How's that really affecting you? Or, how's the budget? How much money is that taking it from your home? Do I need to do this? Didn't really consider me as a whole person. So I think a lot of people, may shun away from holistic, but, hopefully this conversation today will give them a little bit clearer idea. It may not convince you completely, but at least you will have something to go by. And maybe if you listen to it a few times, you'll say, "Oh, okay, maybe it's not so bad."
Absolutely, and I think that's the perfect way to put it. It's really about showing people that holistic doesn't have to mean incense and sitting cross-legged, unless you want it to. It could really be about just looking at your whole life and making those little changes that fit into your real world, and I think you're doing a great job of painting that picture. So, hopefully, this does give people that little bit of reassurance that it's not as intimidating as it sounds, and it's actually really practical and really approachable. This is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Um, I would like to make sure that we also just let people know that, sometimes holistic too, or being in this space as a holistic nutrition coach, people come in sometimes expecting quick fixes, which, is great, especially if you got that dinner date or you got the anniversary or the birthday, but you have to I do encourage people to plan their weight loss with a holistic weight loss coach, because the things or the material that you may be taught or learn, it's not a quick fix type of approach. We are basically taught in this particular space how to make your weight loss and your health, um, increasing your health long term. So we want you to maintain it. We want you to sustain it. Because so many quick fixes that you may have gone through, you find that you just get back into the same space. And then in my case, when I did my quick fix things, I got worse. I got more weight a lot of times. And so when you come into my space as a holistic coach, I really want you to learn how to sustain it. And it may not be, a weight loss situation. It may just be, I want to stay where I am, or I'm just trying to get my blood sugar down, or my doctor said my blood pressure's too high. I need to change how I eat. It may be that type of situation and not every time a weight loss. But, sometimes the benefits when you get in your diet and your nutrition together, sometimes the benefits is weight loss. So you still will get that benefit, but, a lot of times it's not all about losing weight.
Absolutely, and I think that that's a perfect note to highlight that this approach is really about sustainability. It's about the long game, not just the quick fix. And like you said, sometimes the goal is just to feel healthier or to improve those numbers or to higher energy, and the weight loss can be a bonus, but it's not always the main focus. So I think you painted a really great picture of what holistic coaching is all about and how it's really a long-term lifestyle. It's been awesome.
Yes, yes. What has been your um, research done or what you seen with holistic nutrition coaches? I would like you to get your feedback or your weigh in.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to share. From what I've seen and from what I've looked into, holistic nutrition coaches really do bring that unique angle, not just focusing on the physical, but making sure that people understand the emotional and mental side of it too. And I think one of the big things is just that idea of integrating it into real life. So it's not a separate thing you do for a few weeks and then drop. It's something that you really carry forward. So for everything I've seen, it's a super sustainable approach. And I think it's exactly what a lot of people need. So you're definitely on the right track with it.
Yes, yes. Um, I hope we are, and I would like to make sure that we address who this coaching can be for, as we have both said that, it's not a quick fix situation. So, holistic, I find that people, want those quick fixes. But when I talk to them, it's like, it is for that person who is looking for sustainability, for a long-term fix, and other things in life that are in distress at this age, and not to mention the mindset, but also we got stress, we got our hormones, our habits. Those are two. Somebody's who's looking to fix that, or at least get them improved. Maybe just even just a little bit of improvement sometimes goes a long way. As people say, the small wins. So if you're looking to, to fix your habits, looking to, talk a little bit on how to get my hormones in check, how to, decrease that stress, how to get my mind together. This is type of coaching is for that person as well. And then plus, with me and Ample Health and Wellness, we focus on the woman that is 40 years old or older. I found that a lot when I made it to 40, I had a lot going on, and I still do, but I think I'm maintaining it, or have it better in place. My management is better than what it was at 40 now that I'm over 50. But I didn't have direction at that time, and my my guide, my mother, she's deceased, and so that was, my go-to, and I have aunts, but, it's nothing like your mom. And so when I lost her, it was like, "What who am I gonna ask questions to now?" I just really didn't have direction. And so but now that, I'm older and I've studied a little bit more, and I've got into this holistic coaching, I feel that it has helped me ground myself a lot better. I'm understanding things a little bit better, my triggers, and so I'm not as bad as I used to be. I'm growing and on a journey as well, along with my clients.
Absolutely. And that's such a heartfelt way to put it. It really shows that you're on the journey too, and that you're helping guide women who are in that same stage of life to really find that direction and find that grounding. And I think that's exactly who this is for women who are ready to make those sustainable changes, who want that long term support, and who are looking for someone who really understands where they are. So I think you painted a perfect picture of who you're serving and how you can help. This has been awesome.
Yes, yes. All right. Anything you can think that we should add in? We've said a lot today.
I think we've covered a lot of fantastic ground. I think if there's one last little thing to add, it's just reminding people that this is a journey. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, and you're here to guide them through that. So I think we wrapped up a really nice conversation. I think people are going to love this. So this is perfect.
Yes, it has been. This has been awesome. I always love telling, people, especially people who get confused a little time at what do you do? How do you do it? And that too on the nurse practitioner side. A lot of times people come into the emergency room and they want to see the doctor. They want to see the doctor. And I'm like, well, I am the liaison. I'm the doctor's eyes and ears because there are 100, we have over 200 people coming to the emergency room every day. And there's no way the doctor can see them all. So he has hired me, or she has hired me to help. And I have to explain that quite often while I'm working. So to give this podcast today, or this talk today, on what a holistic nutrition coach is, it's, kind of a norm for me to always explain a few things, because people just need an understanding. And then once they get an understanding, they're accepting and they're receptive. And I'm glad that we did this.
Absolutely. And you've done a wonderful job of making it clear and relatable. And I think that's exactly what people need. Once they understand it, they're much more open to it. And I think you've given them a good picture than this. So this has been awesome. And I'm really glad we did this. You. I think you got a real episode on your hands.
Yeah, this was an awesome episode. So, as we wrap up, I want to thank everyone for joining and spending your time with us today. I hope this conversation was helpful and that it made you more aware and that also that you felt like you were seen in this episode and heard. I do hear the questions sometimes, and I like to try to bring them to the podcast a lot. And I hope that it also encouraged and it reminded you that sustainable weight loss after 40 is possible with a holistic nutrition weight loss coach. New episodes of Women Over 40 Losing Weight are released every Friday. So be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if today's conversation, once again, if it resonated with you, you can learn more about my work and find my book, The Wait Is Over, at amplehealthandwellness.com. Until next time, I need everybody to give yourself grace, take care of your health, and keep moving forward. Bye for now.
That was perfect, Keisha. You wrapped it up beautifully. I think that's the ideal way to send people off feeling encouraged and knowing exactly where to find you. So well done. And this is going to be a fantastic episode. I'm glad we did it.
Yes, I'm glad we did too. And Jay, thank you as always. And I will talk to you next episode.
You're so welcome, Keisha. It's always a pleasure. And I can't wait for the next one. Take care and talk soon.
Okay, bye everyone. See you all next episode.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time. Take care.